Yep. Just read the beginning of it for me.
Oh, I'm out loud.
Yeah.
Glory Bowl is the most beautiful mountain ever. If you dare to ski or snowboard down it, you will have the most exciting time of your life. If you make a mini avalanche, ride it out. This is how you can ride it out and get a lot faster. You bring the back of your skis or snowboard.
I'm going to stop you because the thing I liked about that is that you had me on the mountain with you.
Mm-hmm.
I could really picture it. I could picture being on Glory Bowl, though I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you, so I know you're really good at doing that, at creating a picture with words.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want you to do is we'll go back to that entry, the one about the field trip, and the place where you want to add more here. And I'm going to give you a couple of Post-its, and what I want you to do is take time to write about this what was it, a fossil?
Fossil Butte.
Yeah, so write about Fossil Butte, so you can, so that your writing brings me to Fossil Butte with you, so that I can picture this big thing that you were talking about that reached from top to bottom, and whatever other things come into your mind as you go back into that place. Okay? So here's some Post-its, and you can just get started writing. Okay? If it's easier to put them over there, you can do that as well. Here's your pencil, and you can just start writing. So you're just going to write whatever comes to your mind about this particular part of your entry. Nash, I'd love you to read what you've written so far so that we can talk a little bit about it.
I added a little bit about this, and I wrote, when we got to Wally's house / business, we went.
I think you were going to say we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go inside. I saw a gourdfish. And just thinking about the gourdfish, I remember this one huge rock that they cracked it open, and it had billions of little crystals and everything inside of it. And then another one they cracked open, and it had some kind of like fossilized pterodactyl or something in it.
I like the way you wrote that, and you know you didn't include that in what you wrote, so I just wrote it down for you quickly. And that there was this, I remember this huge rock they cracked open, billions of crystals on it.
Yeah.
That sounds good, and I like the way it adds more detail to your writing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this, and you can insert that there too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm just going to put it over here.
And then when we started fossil hunting and everything, at the end when we had to hike back down, he showed us this huge, I think I have it,
oh, I think it's right here.
Huge. And then instead of the gore, it was some other kind that was like some lizard or something, and it was a grawfish instead of a gourdfish, and I messed up right there. I was thinking about the gourdfish.
Let's just read some more of what you did add as you kept going with being at the fossil cave. So after this. Oh,
okay. The gourdfish, it looks like an alligator with fins instead of legs.
Okay.
And
so then you have that.
Yeah.
Just so you can keep the parts together, and then you have this part about that I wrote for you. I remember this huge rock that was cracked with the crystals, and then the pterodactyl that you want to.
And then when we were done, we rode to Fossil Butte. We had to hike to the top of the butte. We dodged dust devils and powerful winds.
So as you keep going, I have to tell you that you did what I asked you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You wrote in a way that I can really picture what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the way you said we dodged dust devils. So I can really see that kind of whipping around.
Yeah, and then thinking of the dust devils when we were still hooking up, we'd have to like curl up into balls, and one of the girls in our class got lifted up off the ground like a few inches because of all the powerful winds and everything.
Great. So those are all good details to add to your writing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think one thing that you learned today is that writers reread writing. Like when you wrote this, you wrote how many pages?
I think like 8 or something.
And I bet when you finished you thought, wow, I did a great job, I'm done.
Yeah, but you're not done because every day you could add to it.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. So what you just did here with me, you can go back on other days, reread, and when you find a part where you think you can add more, you can put some Post-its there and then just keep going.
Mm-hmm. And then when, like, you can edit it and then you can make a final draft and everything and just, like, put all of this together, like write down all of this again, but with all of these Post-its and everything.
Exactly.
Or you can just keep it like this and read the Post-its when you get to the part.
And then you can add it into your draft. You know a lot about the writing process. Actually, when you're adding more writing or text to a part of your writing, that's called revision. When you finish the draft and you go back in and you check for grammar and spelling, that's called editing.
Yeah.
So you've learned a lot about the revision process just by doing this. Thank you so much. This is a lot of fun. Students often write breakfast to bed stories, a retelling of the day's events from beginning to end. Instead, they need to focus on a moment or several moments on the timeline of that day and tell that part with greater detail. I often ask students, what do we do if we want the Unifix cubes to weigh more than the markers? And they tell me, put more Unifix cubes on that side. And sure enough, it weighs more. Or they say you can take away some of the markers. And again, the Unifix cubes weigh more. The same thing is true in their breakfast to bed stories. They are giving everything equal weight. Nothing is more important than anything else on that list. But when they are able to zoom in and focus on a part and add details to it, that story comes to life, or it becomes a story. In Nash's detailed writing about the field trip his class took, there were several stories in the one entry. As we reread what he wrote, he was able to zoom in on one part and add a lot more detail to his writing,